Well, in most of the big towns, the preparations were good. We haven't seen significant damage. We haven't seen large numbers of roofs blown off. People are breathing a sigh of relief. When you get out to smaller villages like this one, we've come about an hour south of the city of Legazpi, you can see these sorts of flimsy structures have sustained some damage. This one's just toppled completely over. This is a little village called Haiyan. About 200 people live here. Many of them followed the advice of the authorities to evacuate and to go into stronger buildings. Some didn't. People are reluctant to leave their homes, and just here you can see as they come up, there's a little home here on the right. It's made of concrete, it's a bit more solid. This family and some of their friends decided to stick it out through the storm, and they say they're pretty comfortable here. The rain's been very heavy, the winds have been strong, but this is not yet as powerful or as damaging as Typhoon Haiyan last year. And I think we've still got a few more hours of this storm to go. At the moment, we're probably at the peak of the storm in this part of the Philippines, but in perhaps 3 or 4 hours' time, when the worst of it is past, then the authorities will be able to make a proper assessment of how bad that damage has been.
Is it the fact that this storm appears to be less powerful than Haiyan last year, or is it the extra preparation, or perhaps a combination of both?
I think it's both, and there's no doubt the authorities took this one very, very seriously. They were shocked by not just here in Tacloban, the main city that was wiped out by a tidal surge that they just hadn't really expected. They were also shocked by how hard it was to help the city to recover. There were many, many days last year when no help got in, or very little help got in at all. This time round, they've pre-prepared, they've put in assistance into places that they were going to be hit, and they were very, very methodical about their evacuation. Their aim was, they said, 0 casualties. In this region, despite this very heavy rain, the powerful winds, the trees we've seen coming down, they're fairly confident they'll come close to 0 casualties, perhaps not absolutely 0. And I think that preparation has paid off. But this is not the kind of storm that we saw last year. If it had been like Typhoon Haiyan, I simply couldn't be standing here talking to you. It wouldn't have been possible. So this is pretty miserable, but it is not the devastating typhoon that we saw last year.